Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. So let's talk some football, and some important football here in Baton Rouge. An announcement that probably surprised a number of people yesterday. DJ Pickett, five-star cornerback from just north of Tampa, was down to three schools: Oregon, Miami, LSU. And if you're paying attention and you were listening to me last week on the show, and we cut this up and put it out on YouTube, and I tweeted out the video, there was a lot of kind of negative internet buzz regarding LSU's defensive back recruiting. Jabari Antoine had committed and then decommitted and visited elsewhere, and DJ Pickett was the number one target, but there were some crystal balls and recruiting prediction machines that were kind of sending him elsewhere. And I don't know that anybody in LSU's football office was panicking or in a bad mood, but we talk to and deal with the fans. You're the folks that help us out here and listen to us and allow us to do what we do, and I think there was a sizable portion of the fan base that was a little cranky a week ago, even a day ago, about defensive back recruiting. And I said, look, all you can do is make your pitch and then have the NIL collective come in and do what they do. You can't kidnap these kids and slam a national letter of intent down their throat and lock them up until they have to enroll. Like, you just make your pitch. And it appeared to me, based on quotes, I don't know DJ Pickett, based on quotes from DJ Pickett, that LSU had done a pretty damn good job with him. He had been to campus a number of times, officially and unofficially. He had said in an interview on the record, my relationship with Corey Raymond is like none other. I felt like LSU had done a pretty good job, and I wasn't willing to absolutely lambaste the entire defensive staff, namely the defensive backs coach, because somebody may not commit to LSU or sign with LSU. I was just willing to let the recruiting cycle play out, let the guys on the field this fall show what they've got, and then maybe kind of, assess things a year into things, as opposed to just based on what the internet may say. And it turns out that DJ Pickett, although there were rumors about Oregon throwing major NIL money around, there are rumors about Miami and what they can do in an NIL perspective, and that is his home state. He picked LSU. And this is something that we're used to in Baton Rouge with Corey Raymond on the staff. You're used to top DBs in the nation picking LSU. Derek Stingley, Eli Ricks, Grant Delpit, Jamal Adams, Kevin Tolliver. Like, the list goes on and on of guys that Corey Raymond went out and recruited, Jacoby Stevens, from all over the country and in the backyard of Louisiana to play DB at LSU. And that's what you brought him back to do. And I'm not here suggesting in July that you look at DJ Pickett and suggest that this is all done. Recruiting's a wild game now, especially in this era. But I will applaud Corey Raymond and LSU staff's work on DJ Pickett just based on the quotes that I've heard him give. That the relationship I have there is like none other. It's DBU. His willingness to come back more and more often to visit and to camp and all that kind of jazz. LSU's done a really good job here, and that should be expected from LSU's staff. And you look at this 2025 class right now, and it looks really special on paper. You've got Bryce Underwood, the number one quarterback, the number one player. You've got DJ Pickett, the number 2 corner, number 6 player. Harlem Berry, the number 1 running back, number 16 player. Tyler Miller's ranked 86th in the country. Damian Shanklin's ranked 91st in the country. Carius Kern is the number 2 interior offensive lineman in the country, a top 100 player. They've got 7 top 100 players, including the top quarterback, top running back, number 2 corner, number 2 interior offensive lineman. The class right now is ranked number 3 in the country behind Alabama and Ohio State, both of whom have 23 commits. LSU's at 17. When you look at average rating, LSU's top of the class. Look at blue chip ratio, top of the class. They just need to continue to add players to the class as they sit here with only 17 commits. But it is very, very high-quality stuff that LSU's done. And again, 7 days ago, 14 days ago, you could look at this recruiting class and go, cool, number one quarterback, very important, awesome, got a couple running backs that look great. Interior offensive line, even offensive line as a whole, looks very good. You've gotten some edge rushers. You beefed up the defensive line. All of that took place around the 4th of July. That all looks great. Where are the DBs? You had bad DB play last year. You got questionable DB personnel this year. Where are the defensive backs? And that would have been a reasonable claim, a reasonable complaint, a reasonable concern. Well, over the last 4 days, you go get Jace Thomas, 4-star safety from Destrehan. And then DJ Pickett, as good a corner prospect as the rest in the country. And he perfectly fits the Corey Raymond mold. Corey Raymond will play with 5'9", 5'10" corners. He would prefer to play with 6'1" and 6'2" corners. This is a 6'4" corner. And while LSU does not have Phil Knight's pockets, does not have Miami's proximity, DJ Pickett said his relationship with Corey Raymond is like none other. DJ Pickett's dad said they want to play against the best of the best. And Miami can't offer that. And Oregon, to a better extent, can in the Big Ten. But I think everyone kind of looks towards the SEC when they look at that. And make no mistake, DBU is still a big deal. And it's even more a big deal because you're rebounding from it with the guy who helped foster it. And I realize, and this is, again, not talking about LSU's football program, this is simply pivoting and talking back to the fans. Like, I realize there are still going to be people who dug their heels in when Corey Raymond was offered the job to come back and accepted and said, this is a bad idea. This guy wasn't recruiting at the end, wasn't developing at the end. Look at Florida. They've been no good. This was a bad decision. And there are going to be people that said that over the last year, really 7 months, and they're going to dig their heels in very likely. And that's fine. It doesn't really matter how you feel about the position coach. All that matters is what the position coach does. But I will stand exactly where I stood when this hire was brought public and Corey Raymond came back. I do believe he was still recruiting at an elite level at the end. I believe Eli Ricks to be a really good player. I believe Dwight McGlothern to be a really good player. That's what was there as he was leaving as their top two corners. We already know that Christian Fulton and Derek Stingley were great players and pros. And I think that the end of the Orgeron era got sloppy on a lot of perspectives, but I don't know that DB recruiting was one that I would point to. I believe Corey Raymond can still recruit defensive backs. I believe Corey Raymond can still develop defensive backs. Now, he's got a fight on his hands this year because I don't know that this LSU group of defensive backs looks to be as talented as some of the ones he's coached in the past. They need to play better than they did last year. There was some sort of combination of lack of development, lack of recruiting, lack of execution, lack of game planning, lack of technique. Like all this was bubbled up and thrown out there last year, and they couldn't cover a soul. Started Labor Day weekend against Florida State and went all the way through to Texas A&M's backup quarterback. It was awful. It's got to be better this year. But more so than the next 4 months, you've just got to turn that position back into what it once was. And I'll just tell you flatly, I think he can do it. And this was a big, big get for him yesterday. LSU's going to have to keep recruiting him, keep communicating with him, keep him in the boat. Got to get to signing day at the end of the season, but it's a big, big deal to get that type of talent level in at that position because it's a passing game and it's a very difficult position to play, and LSU wasn't good enough at it last year, and it cost you football games. Huge, huge, huge get for LSU. That class now up to number 3 in the country, behind only Alabama and Ohio State. And right now it feels like LSU's really got things moving in the right direction. Can they get Jabari Antoine? I don't know. That decision's coming up fairly shortly. But there are other guys they're recruiting. And I think LSU's going to pull a nice defensive back class in because that's what I'm used to Corey Raymond doing around here. It's the expectation, and I think it'll be the reality once Corey's done getting ink to paper here by December. So DJ Pickett in the basket for LSU. Really, really nice get in this 2025 class, and it looks to be a really, really special one that's ticketed towards the top 5 class in the country. Awesome, awesome stuff from Corey Raymond. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.